world. I'm Rockwell, your host, and welcome to the Nashville Lyftzone. It's early on Tuesday morning. I'm actually just getting off work, heading home. The video I made yesterday was on the way to work. I work the nighttime hours. Find that I make more money doing that than I would do working the daytime hours, so, booyah to that. But anyway, I just wanted to, talk real briefly here before I get to the house and get to finally enjoy a beer at 9 o'clock in the morning. But 9 o'clock in the morning for me is like 9 p.m. for everyone else. But yeah, there was a couple interesting rides I had last night, and I just wanted to talk about those with you all a little bit. And then talk about some of the big news in the world of sports here this morning. Yeah, there was one ride last night, and it ended up being a pretty long ride. It was an hour and 1 minute, and pretty much, it was all in downtown. Anyway, I picked up these two girls and a guy at one of the bars here in downtown Nashville, and was taking them back to their hotel, which was in northwest Nashville, which is about 7 miles from downtown, give or take. So it was a pretty decent ride to pick someone up, going home in downtown. On the way to the hotel, one of the girls was flying on standby at the airlines. They were from Arizona. The guy was from Arizona too. He had actually just moved up to Nashville about a year and a half ago, and the two girls were here visiting him. One girl was flying standby, and on the way there, about halfway there, she got a text from the airline saying, we got a flight for you. You need to get to the airport. So she's like, can you, when we get to the hotel, can you just wait outside for us and then, take me on to the airport? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Meter's running, so, if I'm standing outside smoking a cigarette with the car turned off, I'm not burning gas, so, sure, why not? Especially like I said, that was in northwest Nashville, where the hotel was, and the airport's about, it's about 13, 14 miles from there on the east side of Nashville. We do that. The two girls go upstairs to the room, and they had a little conversation, which I'll get into in a minute. I'm standing out there talking to the guy, and he's like, before you take her onto the airport, can you drop me off at my house? He's the one that was paying for the ride. It was on his Lyft application on his phone. And I'm like, sure. It's he showed, put entered a new destination, and it was about halfway between where we were and where the airport was. So I was like, yeah, no problem. So we get to their house, and he gets out of the car, and he's kind of, he's a real nice guy. He's one of those nice guys you meet out there that, most girls hope that they meet. He's kind of trying to get the other one to, go ahead and, spend the night with him. You know how that works. And I knew, when the girl in the passenger seat, the one going to the airport, starts kind of looking at her, and she's like, go on. This was the plan. That's when I chimed in. I was like, go on, girl, get you some. So I helped him get out and have a fun little end to his evening. And, then I took the other girl, onto the airport. And that ended up being, actually, it took longer than it did, because as we're coming out, there was a tractor trailer overturned on Interstate 40, which, eastbound, which is the most direct route to the airport. So I had to reroute and, actually go west on I-40, and then go south on I-65 for a couple miles, and then hook up with the Interstate 440 bypass which runs like an outer loop. If you know anything about Nashville, or you look at the map, the way the interstate's laid out, there's kind of an inner loop of interstates, and then an outer loop. And 440 is the outer loop, and that goes past where the overturned truck was that had the whole interstate shut down. And we were able to get by that. It took a little bit longer, but I got her where she needed to go before her deadline to check in was, and get through security and all that good stuff. And we had a absolutely wonderful conversation on the way. So and then that ended up being like a $40 fare. So Lyft takes 25% of that, and then the guy, later on, when I looked at the earnings, daily earnings, the guy even tipped me $5. So it was an hour and 1 minute long ride, but I made $35. And you can't beat that. $35 an hour. I mean, I'll take those kind of rides all day long. But anyway, that's the one biggest interesting story. I even a shorter story. I had one a little bit earlier than that in the night. Actually, there was the ride right before that, where I picked a guy that had quite a bit to drink up in downtown, and was going back to his hotel. And first thing he says, like, "Man, I'm starving. I got to get something to eat. Can we run through a drive-through, please?" And I was like, yeah. I was like, McDonald's, Taco Bell. He's like, "Where's the nearest McDonald's?" I was like, "Well, you're gonna look, man. There's a McDonald's about a mile up the road here, and it's right next to the interstate ramp, which we got to get on anyway, to go back to your hotel." So, I did that, and sometimes drive-throughs are jammed, but this has actually happened to me twice now in 3 days, where I run someone through a drive-through, and they buy me dinner. They're like, "Man, it's on me. Go ahead and get whatever you want." So, both times, I didn't, order everything on the menu. I just, I was like, sure, I'll take a hot meal. Last night I got a fish sandwich combo. The other night it was a Taco Bell, and got a steak quesadilla for free. So you can't beat that. But that's your Lyft stories here for today. From my last night. And the other thing I want to talk about here in the world of sports here that just happened this morning, which kind of hits a little bit home to me because like I said in the previous video, I just moved up here from Knoxville, Tennessee, and lived there for 23 years. And Coach Pat Summitt died early this morning, a little before 5 o'clock, I think, somewhere between 4 and 5 a.m. That's such a shame, the way that, she goes out, because it's the winningest basketball coach. And, normally I don't really give two flips about basketball. There's not, I can watch a basketball game. I can enjoy it. I like to, get into the March Madness and the, NBA playoffs, and that kind of thing. But most of the time I don't really care that much about it. But, one thing I can respect is Coach Summitt. Pat Summitt. I mean, the winningest basketball coach in history of men's or women's sports. I think it's like over 1,000 games she won. She coached in 4 different decades, won 8 national championships, even won a gold medal for coaching the 1984 basketball team at the Olympics. And that's not really the thing that most people are going to remember about Pat Summitt. Because it's, and then she actually, there was I heard on the radio, on the sports talk here this morning, the Pat Summitt's like, I had this many wins, won this many championships, in this many years, but it's not the numbers that I remember, it's the faces. And that really sums up who Pat Summitt was. She was just a great person. She made everyone around her better people. Even Peyton Manning, won the Super Bowl here last year, his second one, or earlier this year. Peyton Manning went to the University of Tennessee, and he was saying, they were asking him, is there anything that Pat Summitt ever did that, really impacted your career? And he was like, oh, absolutely. And there was, one time, he's trying to decide whether or not he's going to come back to to University of Tennessee for his senior year of college, and play football that year. And he went down to Pat Summitt's office and had a talk with her, and that she's just inspired him to finish that 4th year of college, get his degree, and then go on to the NFL instead of leaving college early. So Pat Summitt, she's going to be sorely missed. Like I said, I'm not a basketball fan, but I truly respect the woman and everything she did, and for everyone she did it for. And I know that all the players, that she coached over the years are having a rough day today. And anyone who really likes basketball is going to have a rough day today. So, I just wanted to talk about that for a minute, since, I moved up here from Knoxville, so that's, kind of hitting a little close to home for me. But, she had a great life, a great career, and she made everyone's life around her better. And Pat Summitt, you will be sorely missed. The world was definitely a better place with you than without you. So that's all I want to say for now. I'm just pulled up into my driveway here. I'm home, so I'm going to go have that beer. And I'll see you tomorrow night out on the roads in Nashville. Y'all have a great day.